Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 73 of Like, Share, Follow. And this week I have the amazing Beth Griggs, who is a COVID production assistant at Warner Brothers International Television Production. That is so impressive. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Hello. Hello. Thank you for
Hi.
having
So
me.
it's been a little while, been a couple of years since you were last at USC,
Yeah.
studying social media. What degree did you do when you were at USC?
I did a Bachelor of Creative Industries and I kept changing my major around, but I think I ended up in doing a major of screen media and creative advertising where
Excellent.
it
And I
landed.
remember
Yeah.
you did some social media classes.
Yeah. I did quite a few social media. There was like a few
Yeah.
in the course and I did a few more electives.
Yeah, and so that's
Yeah.
how we cross paths.
hmm
So from that time, how did you get from University of the Sunshine Coast down in Sydney working for Warner Brothers?
Yeah. So I'd done a few bits and pieces when I was at uni, and then it was actually through um, I was babysitting all through uni and I was looking at working in TV, but wasn't really sure how to do it. And the mum I babysat for knew another mum at her work who at her school, sorry, her kids' school, who knew someone in Sydney who said, yeah, contact them and talk about how to get into TV. And then there's Facebook groups where they post all the initial jobs. And so I started as a transcriber. So
Yeah.
just doing like typing out interviews for reality TV, like I did The Bachelor and those kinds of shows. Um, yeah, and then I did that. Moved to Sydney at the beginning of 2020, so I got that, and then I lost it after a few months because of the pandemic thing, and everyone lost their jobs for a minute. And then I worked as a video producer, making a lot of their social online content for another company for about 6 months, and then back into TV through a few different roles, and now I've just started. I'm 2 days into COVID coordinating a new show. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so tell me about, because that's clearly a necessary position now. Like, I
it
mean,
is.
I worked in TV a long time ago, so it was actually when I finished my first degree, and I was in
Mm,
there for 5 years. And yes, there was no need for a COVID coordinator.
no, it's a whole new department with like a whole huge budget, and like it's
Yeah.
this thing that has been created very quickly, and the people at the top of it like know what they're doing really well already. Like it's quite incredible.
Yeah, and so what exactly do you do as a COVID coordinator?
So that's a good question. So I initially it's like in the office space stuff, like the pre-production things, is making sure our COVID safe plans are up to date. Like we have the main ones that Warner Brothers have, and then making sure that they fit with our production.
Yeah.
And tracking, we have like testing regimens, things like that. And right now I'm just building up all of that, like all those trackers and systems for how I want to approach. Then once we're on set, how are we testing? How are we managing everyone coming in and out? How do we keep it safe?
Yeah.
All the PPE that we need, all that kind of stuff. And just
Yeah.
being a point of contact for COVID questions for people, because people always have COVID questions because it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I didn't want to do it when I first got asked to do COVID PA last year on another show. I wanted to say no because I thought, oh, I don't want to do COVID jobs. Like I want to do creative and story and or whatever it is. And then someone said, no, you should do it. It's actually like a good way to meet a lot of people. And then I ended up
Yeah.
actually really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it's a really social role, and I have to talk to every single person on the production. I have to be at every single shoot. Like, so you get to see a lot of cool stuff and do a lot of things earlier in a career than I probably would if I were going down the producing route or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been really cool.
Oh, the good. Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, and it would be sort of hard to manage people to comply. But I guess most people are so used to it now that they do it, and
Sorry,
it's
there
kind
will
of
be a
their
cat in this.
That's
Apologies.
fine. She's welcome. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it is giving me a lot of skills that I wasn't, I guess, anticipating, which
yeah,
is like my confidence has just had to grow because I have to go up to people who are really important and tell them off, or tell them I need for you to stop this important meeting because you need to go and get your test, or you need to go and do this thing, or I need this system that we like, this bit of filming that we're doing. Great, it's not going to work with the safety things that we do need to actually change it. And it's
Yeah.
quite hard to do that at first.
Yeah.
But then you realize that everyone is there to just do a job. And even though the occasional person might think that they're more important, no one is more important. Everyone has a job to do, and we're all just trying to get it done. So
yeah. And so what do you think set you apart from other people going for this particular role?
For this role, I mean, I guess because I had done, when I first started in TV, I was doing transcribing, and of course I wanted to get out of transcribing. Like, it's a good job to start with and you do learn a lot, but it's rough. It's rough, and because it was
what I had, that's how what I did with some of the first tasks I did, and I used to do these post-production scripts. And,
those are awful. I hate doing those.
Every second you have to say what's happening on screen every second and transcribe the sound, and oh my goodness, I just had a VCR.
Oh wow, that's hard. Yeah, at least there is software now that, like, you can do shortcuts and send it all up, like, so there's a lot of that. But it is transcribing. I was like, I want to get out of this as soon as I can, because people say, like, yeah, do that for a couple of years and you can do this, and I was like, I don't want to do this for a couple of years. I can't. I just kept
hard. Like, it's a hard job.
It is hard, and it was very isolating because it was all from home because of COVID. So I was just on my laptop typing for 8 hours a day, and it's just not great. So I told the managers, like, I kept being like, if anything else comes up, like, in the office, if you need, like, any sort of assistant, or just even just for a week, you need an extra pair of hands, like, let me know. And I didn't do it too much because I didn't want to be annoying, but I just kept being like, hey, I'm keen to do more and, like, learn more and grow.
Yeah.
And then they had an office assistant job pop up that they needed basically someone to fill for, like, 2 or 3 months. Ended up being like 6 months, but for a few months in the head office, and to fill the gap until they could find a permanent office manager who wanted to do it all the time. And they were like, hey, do you want to come and just do this for a few months and fill the job? And they knew to ask me, because they were like, who would want to do this? This girl's kept putting her hand up for things. And then that job was how I ended up getting a variety. Because I did social media associate producing on Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Cool.
And that was because I was office assisting, and there was someone who I had become friends with at work standing behind me in the kitchen who was stressed because they needed a social media person last minute. And she said, Becky, can you do social media producing? And I was like, well, I mean, I can if you want. Like, I did it at uni, and my last job was that before when I in my gap in here. Do you want me to? And they went, wait, really? Can you? And then I did it for a couple of seasons of batch stuff. So yeah, that was all on set, capturing the stuff. Like, I wasn't managing the platforms at all. It was just it was working with the network for what they want.
Yeah.
And then capturing all the content and coming up with ideas and stuff, and it was really fun.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So would you say, I guess, just putting yourself out there and being available for what they want, rather than going in with saying, I want to do this, like,
be available, and you can, and of course, always, like, if you're in an office where you have this opportunity. I actually, when I was office assisting, set up a meeting with my 2 managers towards the end of that, when I didn't know what my next step would be yet, and went in and was like, hey, what sort of things can I do next? Because I wasn't really sure. And I said, I would be, like, for the jobs I've seen, I'd be interested to give this a try, or do this or do this. What do you think? Like, do you think I would be able to go into that role? Do you think I need to build any more skills? That sort of stuff. And you can just ask people, as long as you not constantly doing it. You gotta read the room.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's
I just
great.
ask people stuff all the time.
Well, and I think that's good, and I can just my experience has been very similar, just because you just don't know where things will lead. Like, I remember I ended up getting into TV because I put this video up before. I made a video resume. At the end, I stood on my head wearing a chicken suit. It's available online somewhere, but I'm not going to. But the executive producer called me and said, there might be something coming up. Keep calling. And this went on for 6 months until finally, and it was a production secretary role on TV show. And people at uni were like, you're going to be a secretary, and they looked down their nose at it. But, you know, doing that role led to so many other things. So you're crazy to like turn down something because you think it's beneath you.
Yeah, you got to do, like, obviously if you think you can do something high, go, like, reach for it. But also you can do whatever role you need to do to start with, to show, like, and then do, like, when I was office assisting, I wanted to be able to do more in it. And so I took on extra stuff that, I mean, obviously don't do more work than you're getting paid for, is how I feel. But also, if you want to learn different things, like, that role was really good for me to learn. Like, that's how I learned to use Excel, was in that role, because I had a bit of time. And we had a lot of spreadsheets, and I was like, can I redo these? And just would work on those. And it was really cool. So
because in TV, what I found too, it's very much about relationships, and because they rarely actually advertise jobs on Seek. So
no, it's all on Facebook, actually. TV, it's all Facebook or people already knowing someone.
And
most of it is all internal.
The Facebook groups, are they exclusive, or can you?
No, so there's they're kind of in a bit of a transitional phase right now, I think. But there's like Australia I Need Crew Professionals and Australia I Need Crew Entry Level, I think. And when jobs do come up, there's a lot of jobs on there often for like producers and different roles, but and the more entry level roles are harder to get. But they do pop up, and you can apply that way, but it's always handy to have. So my first one that I applied for was through Facebook, but I had a person who was like through the babysitting, through like 3 people who already worked at Warner Brothers, who had said, I'll help you, let me know when you apply and I'll vouch for you. And so I emailed her and was like, hey, I applied for this one. And she, I guess, said to them like, this girl's fine. And then they hired me. So it's a lot of stuff on Facebook.
Excellent. And what's been some of the best career advice you've been given?
For me, it would be to actually look at the individual things you like doing, because I've noticed that going into jobs, it's always hard to go like, what does this job actually look like? What are my day-to-day tasks? And like for me, I realized I love being creative, and I've always been a creative person and doing these things. I actually don't like doing it at work. And it took me a couple of years. I do like it in bits. But I don't like it to be my primary thing. And you can actually just take things everything you love doesn't all have to be part of your work. It can just be a hobby. And I realized that the bits that I really liked when I was doing creative things and when I was doing other stuff was I like working with lots of people. I like being able to help other people I like being a point of contact that people can come to for help, and then I can give them what they need, and then they can do their jobs. And so figuring out those little weird details, it takes time, and I'll probably change my mind again in 6 months, to find the little individual bits, because it can be scary coming out of uni and say, okay, I'm going to be this. Like I said, I was going to be either TV, but I was also looking at social media content creating, and then I like it, but it wasn't actually so. I found it too stressful. So find those little tiny bit when you're in a job. You're like, what bits do I like about this? And then finding other things that suit that, and going from there.
That's great advice. And so, reflecting on your time at uni, what was some of the most beneficial things that you gained from university that help you in your role now?
Well, I mean, I hate this, like networking was I remember like from first semester it was like drilled in about networking, and I didn't know how to do it. Like I was not good at it for the first. I tried to go to like those networking events and different things like that early in my degree, and was not good at it. But over time, learning like what that actually means, and it's less about going up to people and being like, "Hi, I'm studying this, and I want to do this. Here's my business card," like that sort of energy. Which is, and it can be really nerve-wracking at first. And like networking events I found really stressful because I feel like there's that energy, but some people are really good at them. But for me, it was more about just genuinely building relationships with people. And you're not building a relationship to try and get something out of them. Because like becoming friends with people is fun. So like absolutely go for it. And then if you're nice to people and you treat them well and like you do well in like you work well in group assignments, which is tricky, but you know, being nice to the people around you, someone will think of you. Like I have people that I did courses with 2 or 3 years ago. Every now and then I'll get Pixie, relax. I have people will message me on LinkedIn or Facebook and be like, hey, we worked together and you were nice and I see you're working in TV now. Are you available to work on this production that I'm doing? Things like that. Like people will come to you a few years later. So just I guess it's being nice. Like networking doesn't mean networking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just be nice to be around.
Yeah.
And what's something that you wish you'd learned at university that you really need now?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I was thinking about this. I don't know if I did. This may have been taught at uni and I didn't listen. I'm not sure. But in detail, how to read like job advertisements to understand if it's right for you and how to spot the red flags in them. Because I feel like in creative roles and in social media and things, there's a lot of, because they're all new and changing and whatever, there are a lot of people creating the jobs and posting the jobs who do not understand what's actually required.
Yes.
And they'll want you to be a graphic designer and fluent in Photoshop and in Premiere and a social media person and monitoring and reports and like all of these things that it's like they're listing 4 or 5 different jobs.
Yes.
And so being able to understand like, is that like what that means, and communicating with those people if you apply for that job saying, yes, I can do all these things, but I need you to understand that these are quite a few different disciplines. So you like don't look at it and go, well, I couldn't do this because I'm not as good at, like, I can't edit video as well as photoshopping, whatever. No one's going to be able to do every single thing on that list well because they're all
so many.
There's so many, and there's so many jobs like that. And also the ones that go like, we're a family and and we want this and go the extra mile, which means we want you to stay an hour late and not pay you. Like those kind of things, watching out for that and not getting taken advantage of by places that they might not realize that they're doing it. Like they might think like this is the grind and the this and the that, and it's like, no, it is a job. And you do want to be able to go home and live your life and be a person. Absolutely. So being able to spot those things.
Like I think because every end of every semester I do those Be Work Ready sessions. So I think we're going to have to add another segment to that about that, because you're right. And I get those jobs emailed to me going, is there a student who could do this? And it's like you need 10 years experience to be able to do all those things. And sometimes they want to pay student rates, or they want them to do an unpaid internship for 12 months.
Unpaid internships. That came up at uni a lot. I actually had one where they wanted me to do some photography, and it started off as like they wanted me to do a little bit, and they kept adding more and more and more of what they wanted me to do and not pay me. And I quickly was like, you know what? No. No. Like even when just because you're a student doesn't mean your skills aren't valuable.
Exactly.
And you don't know what you're doing. Like you still have things to offer. And like internships have a place, but
but they need to be really monitored well. And I get really angry at people who build their business off the back of interns. Like I just I just get it gives me I won't, that's a whole rant for a whole other day. But
the whole like I'm a new business, so I can't afford to pay this much. It's like, well, then you can't have me. That's that. Like I don't like you want me to invest a bunch of my time for your passion.
And I mean, it's fine for people to like, it's sort of, as long as it's a win-win.
Of course.
You can't expect someone to work for free forever and dangle this carrot of a job that never eventuates. Like it's just wrong. So,
Yeah.
but yes, that's a whole other show.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing.
So I would also like to know, now that I know you're not working directly in social media anymore, but you have, and you're on there. So what's something social media related you've learned in the last couple of weeks that you found really interesting that you could share?
I guess one thing would be that you really can rebrand anything. Like, it can take time, but I've got a friend who works at Yahoo,
Oh yeah.
and I had Yahoo growing up. It became this like slightly outdated thing,
Yes.
and she said they were getting comments early on when they started posting on the Yahoo thing of people being like, "Yahoo still exists? What?" But they've got a team, and they've just been working at it and understanding the trends and posting good stuff, and they've got news things, but then they have lifestyle and all these different things, and they've worked just nonstop, and they've really built it up into this into a brand that it's found its feet again.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. So you really can don't fret if you have to work for a brand or do something that you feel like, how am I gonna get any interest in this or whatever. You can spend the time and build it up and have fun doing it. Like, they go out and try different cafes around Sydney and have a great time with that. So you can you're not stuck.
Reinvent anything, really.
You can reinvent anything. Yeah.
That's good. And what advice would you give to, I like to call current students, and this came from someone from this show, that calling current students emerging professionals, because that's what they are. Well, some are already for professionals and they're studying. So what advice would you give to them about how to succeed in their careers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to wait till you graduated to start doing things. Like, you have value right away. And I've sort of touched on this already, but ask people for help. People want it. People love to give advice and help. And if you don't know where to go next or what your next step is, look around. Is there anyone that you could talk to about it? Or I actually, early on, when I moved to Sydney and didn't know anyone, I saw some people I was looking at wanting to work in children's media. I still kind of do, but I found some people at the ABC who were working in children's media, and someone who'd posted a lot on Facebook on some of the groups. And I messaged her and I was like, hey, which is unsolicited messaging, it's touchy, but I just said, hi, I've just moved to Sydney and I've just finished studying this. I'm really keen to work in children's media. Can I buy you coffee for 10 minutes and just ask you a little bit about what you do? And some people will say no. They'll say, no, I'm too busy. And you go, yeah, of course, I understand. Like don't be entitled about it, but you can ask. And she said, yeah, of course, come in. And I got to go into the ABC building and have a meeting and just talk to someone, which then that kind of crashed because of COVID. So I never actually got to follow up on it. But just ask people around you for help. And now I've had people are starting to message me, because someone will go, oh, my friend Becky works in TV. And so then I will get an email from someone saying, hey, my friend, this person said you work in TV. I've just moved to Sydney. Do you know where I should start?
Yeah.
And it's like, of course, I would love to help. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's that's great advice. And it's the people who've been helped by others who are generous, in they actually value the help that's been given.
I've had so much help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I love being able to give it back and know the things, and I go, okay, I wish I'd known this when I started this. Okay, here you go. Here's this. What are you interested in? What do you want to do? Just, even though I'm only a few years into it, you learn so much really quickly. And so generally speaking, people love to help. And even if they're busy at the time, like when I got an email last year and I was smack bang in the middle of a show with doing COVID stuff, and there was a COVID case and my workload was just nonstop.
Yeah.
And I said, cool, not right now, but email me again in January.
Yeah.
And she did.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't do it right now, but I do want to help. And so don't be disheartened if someone's like, I'm too busy right now. People are. But then you can still try again. So
yeah, and if you do follow up, that just shows that you really want it.
Yeah, it's good, and have a resume and stuff ready to go.
Yeah,
For that sort of thing. So when they go, because then I can say, I have a look at it, and then I look through, and then you can. Now there's jobs that are popping up that I'm thinking of her and going, oh, could she do this? Like, yeah,
that's excellent advice. And the last question of the show is it's one of them. Well, I guess it would be the most important because it's the title of the show. Who do you like, share, and follow?
That's a good question. I don't have any specific names, but I really like accounts, and I watch a lot of TikTok, but also just anywhere. I love stuff that people are giving. There's so much new information and new emerging talent on there, and this is an example, but I feel like there's someone I found who does gift guides and coming up with gift ideas for things. And because whenever I Google like gifts for my dad or gifts for my brother, it's always like whiskey rocks and a brown wallet. And like, it's just the same things. And I'm like, my dad doesn't want that. Like, I never know what to do. And there's just like a carbon copy of 20 different blogs and lists that all just recycle the same information from each other.
Yeah.
But then on TikTok, there's this girl who's actually spent time thinking about it and has a passion for it. And so she's actually got much more interesting ideas for like a teenager who is this and this and this. Maybe you could try this thing at this price point. Like there's just, and that's just one example, but I just feel like there's a lot more cool ideas and things emerging that aren't just the same recycled information that pops up.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So TikTok, you like a lot of people on TikTok.
And it feels more personal as well. Even things, I love ones that are like cafes to try around Sydney, and they'll go to one and just give it a shot. And if it feels more personal because they can film little bits and they say, I liked this, I didn't like this, and it makes me really want to go. Whereas again, if I look up, there are some great ones if you dig for them, but if you just Google places to go in Sydney, you'll often just get the same kinds of lists popping up and you got to dig for it.
Yeah.
So I like those where people are actually coming up with new ideas and looking in different ways to approach information that's been on the internet for a while.
Yeah. No, I love TikTok for that reason too.
Yeah, it's good.
And so this sort of brings us to the end of our chat, but do you have any final words you'd like to share with people watching?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess just be nice. Like, don't be a jerk. And also, you can change your mind if you don't like what you're doing. And because, like, I'm 27, when I finished uni, when I finished high school, I did 6 months of a business degree, hated it, dropped out, moved to Canada, did acting for 3 years, came back to Australia, went back to uni. I changed my major like 4 times while I was in it, came to Sydney and was like, okay, I'm going to work in TV and I'm going to work in this part of it. And then now I'm suddenly working in COVID. Like, things just change constantly, and that's okay. And sometimes you might need to, if you're changing, you might need to take a step back and then go forward again. And people in your life might be like, oh no, but you're going to earn less doing that, or you've put so much time into this. You can change your mind. It's absolutely fine. And people will have opinions about it, and like, you know what's best for you. So it's okay. Just find things that give you joy in life, because like careers and jobs are important because you spend so much time on it. But it's about doing something that makes you happy to get up and gives you time to enjoy other things in life that you do on the weekends and whenever else. So
excellent advice to leave us with. Thank you so much, Beck, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And next week, I'm still locking in the guest. That sounds a bit brutal, but you know what I mean. Confirming the guest. So we'll be back next Wednesday for that. So thanks so much, everyone, for watching. And thank you, Beck. Have a lovely day on set.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Karen. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Thanks.